It was agreed with Queen Elizabeth that they will not use the HRH title.
Harry's digging an even bigger hole for himself here.
Well, I think he's dug so deep now, he'll strike water any day now.
It's not a financial thing. Working royals do not profit. They do not use their names to make money. It's an honour to have an HRH.
William is reportedly formulating a plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH title.
A new poll by Find Out Now has revealed that most of the public is supporting the King in this family feud, ongoing family feud, after Harry's bombshell BBC interview. It follows the Court of Appeal's decision to not overturn the ruling on his security in the UK.
A century-old law, last swung like a hammer against German princes in World War I, has just been pulled from the archives, this time with Prince Harry's name engraved on it. Overnight, peers in Britain's House of Lords triggered a formal petition to strip the Duke of Sussex title, a move so rare that historians had to dust cobwebs off the Titles Deprivation Act of 1917 to explain the procedure. If Parliament finishes what it started, Harry's glittering His Royal Highness will vanish in a puff of parchment, taking with it every ounce of royal clout he trades on in Hollywood conference rooms. The question hanging in the air isn't whether the crown can do it. It's whether Harry's own words, sparked by a single interview, compelled the crown to strike back. And that's where our story begins. Because even a monarchy can only stay silent for so long. Inside the red leather benches of the Lords, a cross-party alliance has turned centuries-old etiquette into a constitutional battering ram. Their petition cites the very statute King George V used in 1917 to punish princes who sided with Britain's wartime enemies. Back then, dukes lost everything for wearing the wrong uniform. Today, peers argue Harry is waging a different kind of war, trading royal mystique for Netflix millions while torching the crown that created it. 1 week after the document was tabled, backbenchers in the Commons demanded emergency debate time, hinting that a private member removal of titles bill now contains an unofficial Harry clause. Even veteran royal correspondents call the speed head-spinning, because the Lords usually measure time in decades, not days. Yet this flash of parliamentary steel didn't appear out of nowhere. The wick began burning the moment Harry sat down with the BBC, and in an hour that was supposed to mend fences, planted dynamite instead. On 2nd May 2025, just hours after losing a Court of Appeal bid to restore taxpayer-funded police protection, Harry faced a single camera in California and spoke from the heart, or perhaps the fuse box. He lamented that the King won't speak to me, fretted about his father's mortality, and insisted the UK security system was unjust. The quotes dominated every front page, but it was the timing that detonated public anger. A prince who had walked away from duty demanding taxpayers foot his bill, and railing at Britain's institutions the same day those institutions ruled against him. Pundits called it scorched earth PR. Even previously sympathetic outlets used words like out of touch and tone deaf. By breakfast the next morning, YouGov's tracker recorded Harry's worst favorability numbers since early 2023. Only 27% positive, a bruising 63% negative. In a monarchy where moral authority matters more than votes, those numbers rang louder than Big Ben. But Harry wasn't the only Sussex making headlines. 48 hours later, an influencer friend unboxed a gleaming gift basket on Instagram, camera zeroing in on the card, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. 1 slip of stationery, 3 forbidden letters, and a week's worth of TV shout shows accused Meghan of title laundering. Royal watchers reminded everyone that the late Queen's 2020 exit agreement barred the couple from using HRH commercially. To see it resurface now felt, to many Britons, like a brazen middle finger. Conservative columnist Sarah Vine dubbed it the marketing equivalent of waving a red flag at a bull, then monetizing the stampede. Public fury found a target. An online petition urging Parliament to yank the title smashed 250,000 signatures in 6 days, including thousands from Sussex, the very county that once cheered its new Duke and Duchess in carriage rides. One elderly signer typed, "He doesn't represent us. He represents himself," a line soon splashed across broadsheets. When local pride turns to open revolt, London listens. Behind Buckingham Palace's wrought iron gates, aides whisper that King Charles, still undergoing weekly cancer treatments, wants distance, not confrontation. He remembers the backlash when he evicted Prince Andrew's HRH in 2022. This time, he'd prefer Parliament to swing the axe. Prince William, insiders claim, privately supports the move. The heir has no appetite to inherit a brother whose every podcast drags the monarchy back into the dock. For William, stripping HRH is defensive, not vindictive, a tourniquet on hemorrhaging public support. Royal historians note the symbolism. When court gossip outweighs crown duty, titles become liabilities. Across the Atlantic, however, titles equal dollars, and Hollywood is paying attention. At the precise moment Lords debated title removal, Netflix's PR blast confirmed with love Meghan had been renewed. Trade magazines hinted the deal's mid-8-figure value depended on the Duchess brand. Their corporate deck still flaunts a stylized crown in the logo's corner. Agents gossip that a stripped title would slash appearance fees overnight. No more royal chef segments. No more Duchess-approved skincare lines. Spotify's 2023 split already cost the couple an estimated $10 million in performance bonuses. Losing HRH could make future negotiations even colder. Meanwhile, privacy-seeking Harry is courting camera crews again. A rumored docu-series on PTSD among veterans, produced by Archewell, pitched to studios with the promise of unprecedented royal insight. But if he becomes Mr. Harry Windsor mid-production, the hook vanishes. Hollywood loves a plot twist, just not one that devalues its investment. Back in Westminster, a separate drumbeat grows louder. Why is a foreign duke dabbling in U.S. partisanship? MPs on the Foreign Affairs Committee raised the matter on 5th March 2025, citing Harry's public support for American voting rights PACs and his 2021 remark calling the First Amendment bonkers. One committee chair warned that royal titles wielded abroad can morph into soft power missiles, blurring constitutional neutrality. The phrase title trafficking entered Hansard, Parliament's official record, a stain no royal courts will buff away. Veterans of palace diplomacy shudder at the memory of Edward VIII's Nazi flirtations. Once a duke meddles across borders, the crown has precedent to clamp down hard. The Titles Deprivation Act allows Parliament, with royal assent, to erase a peerage if the holder commits disloyalty to the crown. The last time it happened, 1917, the targets literally fought for the Kaiser. Stripping Harry isn't treason, but MPs argue it's symbolic treason, undermining the monarchy from a Malibu mansion. Legal scholars say rescinding HRH needs only letters and signed by the monarch. Removing the dukedom demands a vote in both houses. With polls at historic lows, few politicians risk defending a prince whose approval rating rivals surplus cabbage. And they have a roadmap. Prince Andrew lost his military honors in a single royal press release. If Charles signs similar letters, Harry, Duke of Sussex, disappears from court circulars overnight. The dukedom itself might take months, but the HRH prefix, the golden ticket, could be gone before the California sunrise. Imagine the impact. Invitations once addressed to His Royal Highness reprinted Mr. Harry Windsor. Diplomatic courtesies revoked. Security officers calling him Sir, not Your Royal Highness. Patronages forced to relaunch logos. Even the Sussex Royal LLC trademark, filed in Delaware, faces legal challenge if the title no longer exists. Immigration lawyers debate whether Harry's U.S. visa, reportedly tied to O1 extraordinary ability status, would withstand the downgrade. Probably yes, they say. But headlines will speculate, and speculation is poison for brand deals. For Meghan, the risk is reputational. Every business slide decks her as Duchess. Investors love storytelling. Losing the Duchess chapter dents the narrative arc. In an industry obsessed with perception, a downgraded title feels like yesterday's trend. A monarchy rarely wields the sword. It prefers velvet gloves. But public patience is finite. Brits watched a young prince walk behind Diana's coffin, serve in Afghanistan, and marry a Hollywood actress who promised to modernize the firm. They also watched him sue newspapers, publish Spare, and accuse relatives of unconscious bias. Forgiveness survived each blow until it didn't. Polls show 2/3 of the UK now back title removal, and even Labour voters, historically lenient, think the Sussexes went too far. When people in Parliament align, the crown follows. That is the quiet power of a constitutional monarchy. It bends until it cannot. Then it acts with centuries behind it. If Parliament signs the parchment and the king dips his pen, Harry will wake up the day after as a man with a famous last name but no royal shield. The cameras will still follow him for a while. But the mythos that turned family conflict into global spectacle will be gone, replaced by something no Sussex podcast can monetize: the ordinary. And maybe that's the real twist, because titles don't make loyalty, they expose it. Harry could have been the prince who reinvented royalty from abroad. Instead, he may become the cautionary tale about how far the crown's patience stretches before the bridge finally burns. The lords have struck the match, the wind is rising, and the last sparks of a royal title are swirling into the night, leaving behind one simple name and the question history will ask. When you walk away from the crown, can you ever outrun the shadow it leaves behind?